Hi, welcome to Craig's Kitchen. It's been a while, and I decided I'd do a video today after watching the most recent episode of the Great British Baking Show, where they made bagels, but they made rainbow bagels. So that's what we're going to do today. So basically we're going to make our bagel dough first. You're going to need 375 grams of flour, which is roughly about just over 2 3/4 cup. You need 1 packet of dry active yeast. You'll need 2 teaspoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then 340 mils of warm water, which is just about over 1 cup. You want to make sure that water's not hotter than 120 degrees because you need to use it to do your yeast. If you get it too hot, it will burn and inactivate the yeast. What you do first is you're going to dump the sugar in, dump the salt in, give it a stir. Make sure it's still at a decent heat, about 115 will do. Then you're going to sprinkle the yeast on top. And you're just going to let it set for about 5 minutes. So it's been about 5 minutes and our yeast mixture is nice and bubbly. So what we're going to do is pour that into the mixing pan. So then we're just going to add the flour slowly with your dough hook. We'll get that mixed up. Now you don't need to have a stand mixer for this or even a dough hook. You can use a wooden spoon and your hand and mix it, but I don't have the strength in my wrists and fingers anymore to do that, so I use my mixer. We're just going to add that slowly so it's on. As, of course, once it makes into a nice ball, you're going to knead it for 5 to 10 minutes. I do it in my mixer because if I do it on a flour surface, like this is a breadboard or the counter, my wrists and fingers just cannot take it and I'll be in pain for the rest of the day. So we'll just do it the easy way. Once this is done for about 5 minutes, then we're going to let it sit and I'll be back. Alright, we're done with the kneading process. So we're going to take our dough out and put it in a lightly greased mixing bowl down there, and then we're going to flip it a little bit, kind of just roll against the sides to get the grease all over the bowl. So you're going to cover with plastic wrap, and then after that you're going to let it sit for about 45 minutes until it's doubled in size. Alright, so our dough has doubled in size, and we're going to pound it down, and then I'm going to remove it from this pan, so I want to get a measurement on how much it actually weighs. So it weighs 629 grams, so we're going to divide that by 5. So each ball is going to have to weigh about 125 grams. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm just going to pinch off what I think will be alright. There's one. Alright, there we have our 5 balls. Hello, as you can see, we ran into some technical difficulties and I let my battery go dead on my camera, so I'm going to have to explain the next part. By now you have 6 equal dough balls. So what we're going to do is we're going to add color to them individually. So the best way I chose to do it was to use a mixing bowl and my small hand mixer and my dough hooks. So I added 1 dough ball to a mixing bowl and a couple of drops of food color and used the dough hooks and use that to combine the food color. Now the recipe says to do it by hand by adding a couple drops of the food color to each individual dough ball and just knead them on a surface until it is well mixed. I tried that. My wrists and fingers won't allow me to do that, and it makes a mess of my breadboard and of my counter, and I didn't want to leave a stain or fight with different colors on my palms of my hands to get off, so I ended up using a hand mixer. So basically, once again, you're going to have 6 equal balls of dough, and you're going to add a couple drops of food color to each one and mix that up by a hand mixer with the dough hook or by kneading it by hand on a counter or cutting board. So once again, you will use a couple of drops of food coloring. If you want to use more, that's up to you to get the brighter color. And also, you don't need to do the color of the rainbow. You can make them any color you want. If you chose to have 3 different colors, you could do the 3 colors that you wanted to. Just make bigger dough balls. Anyway, thank you, and back to our program. So now, roll the dough out to about 8 by 5. And I have that marked off on my breadboard, just so I have a little guide. And it doesn't have to be exact. You want about the same even thickness. Alright, so I'm going to take this to the side. To the side. And then you're going to do the next one. Okay, so once you get this done, you're going to cut this into 6 pieces. Alright, so now we're going to take each rope and twist it. You're going to do, by doing that, you're going to take one hand going that way, one hand going this way. And you want to twist it into about, I'd say about 10 inches. Twist it and pull till you make it longer. And then you're going to bring it around and pinch it together. Repeat 5 more times with the remaining ropes, and then you'll be ready to boil them. Okay, we're going to take about a 1/4 cup of baking soda and put that in some boiling water. Stir that up. Then we're going to take the bagels with a slotted spoon, and we're going to put them in the boiling water for about 30 seconds. Working it about 2 at a time. And then you're going to flip it over. Do the same thing, let it cook a while. Then you'll puff up a little bit. Then you're going to take them out with a slotted spoon and put them onto our baking sheet. And we're just going to repeat that with all of them. Alright, these go into a 400-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. I usually cook bagels till they're golden brown. but because they're colored, we won't be able to really get a good idea, so it's all going to be by feel. See you in 20 minutes. Our timer's gone off, and I believe our bagels are done. And I'm happy with the results since this is the first time I've made these. I hope you have success if you make them. If you want to add flavoring to them, you can put some garlic powder in the original first mix of the dough, or some onion powder, or before you bake them you can sprinkle them with garlic flakes or onion flakes. If you enjoyed today's episode of In Craig's Kitchen, and I'll see you next time.